I grew up with pretty much social alcoholic parents. That seemed to be the focal point. Me and my buddy, we would go get big gulps at 7-Eleven, and we would just pull the washer fluid and fill our drinks up with vodka. I thought it was super creative, and I probably should have passed. Obviously, I didn't think that was a problem. Living life in San Diego and beach fires and chasing girls and drinking beer and going to school, and life was great. And I thought booze was my superpower. I wouldn't just have a party at my house. I'd have a party 5 days a week at my house.
Wow. Were both of those marriages, did they fall to the wayside because of your alcohol abuse?
1,000%.
1,000%.
Yep. Booze was what I thought was a superpower, was the devil. Something happened to me on the third day of rehab. The good Lord touched me on the shoulder. Something hit me in the face that was like, hey, unless you're right, nothing will be right. Because I wanted to rehab to go save my marriage, save my business, be a better dad, all these things, except for me.
Hey everybody, this is Will Gordon from the Willpower Podcast, briefly coming on before this next excellent episode to remind you all that did you know that 76%, you heard that right, 76% of you that follow my content regularly have not subscribed to my channel yet, and I'm really wondering why that is. So if you could, the easiest and freest way to help support my show is to hit that subscribe button on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all of it. Like it, share it, send it to people that you think it might help, because that's what I'm doing here. I've been through it. I lost my liver. I lost my kidney. I had such a severe alcohol addiction that I feel you. Okay. I understand what you're going through, and I'm really hoping that these stories are helping. So if you want to hear these stories keep coming, then please hit that subscribe button. It'll be the best decision that you'll ever make. Thank you so much for supporting me, and I really hope you enjoyed this next episode. I heard it was a pretty good one. Take care, everybody. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Willpower Podcast. I'm so happy and thrilled that you're all here with me today. Today's episode is going to be a good one, guys. I am with Ian Fee. Ian Fee has lived a very interesting life. He has suffered severe alcoholism in his past, but he has overcome all those issues, and he's here to share that story with you. But before we begin, let me just give you a brief bio on Ian. So today I'm sitting down with Ian Fee, a guy whose wild ride started with beer sips and the baby bouncer at the age of 1. We'll talk about that. Turned into 30 years of work hard, play harder that built an 8-figure business empire, but left 2 marriages in the dust and his 3 epic kids wondering if dad would ever show up fully. After celebrating a massive sale in Vegas in 2016, Ian hit the wall. And in rehab on day 3, one gut-wrenching moment of self-forgiveness cracked him open to clarity. 8 years sober later, he dropped 80 pounds, rebuilt the present dad his kids wrote heartbreaking letters to about in his book, Wild Ride to Sobriety. Ian's not just surviving, he's a sober life of the party, proving booze was the fog, but clarity, that's the real superpower. So Ian, man, welcome.
Oh, God.
Thank you. Man. Yeah. So the baby bouncer story in your October 5th reel, which I checked out. Let's unpack that. What was going on?
Well, I grew up with pretty much social alcoholic parents. Everything evolved around booze, potlucks, dinners, people over. That seemed to be the focal point. And obviously, at the age of 1 in a bouncer, my dad giving me, a banquet of beers, Coors. So I got introduced, to booze quite early.
Yeah, I say I don't think it gets any earlier.
Well, I do have a funny story. It does start earlier. My mom loved the smell of like Comet and turpentine. So when she was pregnant with me, she would take a little rag and put turpentine on it and stuff it in her bra, and she was like huffing.
Really?
Yeah, I always remember
You
that.
can say shit. It's okay.
Yeah, it I guess it started, when I was in the womb. My mom huffed in turpentine because she loved of cleaning products, and our house was always spotless clean because she loved cleaning products.
Wow. That's very interesting. So
Yeah.
what were your parents like?
Oh my gosh, they're my mom, little Irish lady born and raised in Belfast, just the life of the party, jokes for days, super kind, always given to people, always wanted to make sure everybody was taken care of. My dad, born and raised up in Punny-Chai, Saskatchewan, just a good old boy. again, life of the party, tell jokes. So my parents were just chameleons together.
Mm.
So hence why if they had a potluck, man, people loved to be around them. They just had this kinetic energy of them of just a great vibe.
Yeah, they're just good vibe people.
Yeah.
And
Awesome.
did that good those good vibe people, did that, have an affiliation with alcohol use?
Yeah, for sure. My mom didn't drink till, I think she was 24 years old. Um, so, but once they, back in the, you know, 60s, 70s, it was a smoke and a whiskey. And, that was just the norm in life anymore. Right.
Yeah.
Um, so I was just born and raised with that around me. Again, we talk about communities on these and a product of our environment. I was a product of my environment.
Yeah.
I grew up knowing booze and partying and being the life of the party, so it was my turn to carry the flag.
Yeah, so speaking of that, you mentioned in, I think it was one of the reels that you created or a post, we talked about being 13 and bartending your parents' parties.
Yeah.
So yeah, can you elaborate a little further into that? And
Yeah. I
yeah,
moved to Southern California right before I turned 13 from Bellingham, Washington, which is a little north of Seattle. So it was quite a culture shock because we moved in August and it was 113 degrees. My dad was going down there for a job offer, which went bankrupt shortly after that. So yeah, I was working in a bar. It was like a triple wide, washing dishes, but you also be like, "Hey, Ian, go pour Jimmy a beer over there." Um, so I was always hustling and could make money. And then when my parents would have potlucks, I would grab a couple of my buddies. We would dress up really nice. We would get you know, the handkerchief over the arm and be like, "Hey, Joan, you need another Crown and Coke." And I can remember all these people's drinks, which is crazy today, 34 years later. And then I'd get some tips. My buddies and I would be like, "Oh, cool, we got gas money for the dune buggies or dirt bikes." And so yeah, I just figured out how I could work that program. And then everybody's like, "Oh, your son's so amazing and great, and his friends, and they're so cute. So can they
yeah,
come work our party?" So I'd be like, "Okay, we're going over to Jones next Friday. That'll be awesome."
yeah, yeah, right. And then, but you're filling yourself with knowledge of like how to make like a gimlet or like
Oh,
a, you know,
all pour it.
like an old fashioned. Hey, yeah, like I mean,
And I didn't drink then. It'd be like, yeah, my parents would be like, "Hey, have a sip of champagne. We're celebrating somebody's birthday or whatever." But I never was that guy that was sitting in the corner with my buddy sneaking a beer or anything. That really didn't happen until, at a high school for sure.
yeah. So let's talk about that. So it didn't happen until after high school. So when did your drinking start to pick up?
Pretty heavy right out of high school. Funny story. I went to San Diego to go to hotel management school. So I had this Toyota pickup truck and I took the reservoir where your washer fluid is, cleaned it out really good, uh, filled it with vodka, got the little tube, punched it through the dashboard. Um, so when you pull the windshield fluid, me and my buddy, we would go get big gulps at 7-Eleven and we would just pull the washer fluid and fill our drinks up with vodka. I thought it was super creative and I probably should have.
That's very resourceful, but wow, yeah,
Yeah. And of course, obviously, I didn't think that was a problem.
right. But you were young.
Yeah, I was 19, 20, just living life in San Diego and beach fires and chasing girls and drinking beer and going to school and life was great and wake up hungover and rinse it off and
Mhm.
repeat for 2 years.
Yeah, the life of living in your early 20s. You
Yeah.
can get up after drinking all night long, eating whatever you want, and then, not too many repercussions in the morning, right?
Yeah, no,
You
it
gotta feel
definitely
resilient.
affects you later.
Yeah, so when did it all stop being, as fun as that sounded?
I thought booze was my superpower.
Mm,
One,
why do
because
you
I grew
say
up
that? Why
with
do you
it.
say that? Yeah.
Um, because I could go and well, I thought it was my superpower. I could get people into bar environments after work, be like, "Hey, let's go have drinks and be the life of the party." And everything's centered around booze for me. Again, that's how I grew up. So I'm just kind of carrying the torch again, not realizing that it's a problem. And through that, I was like, man, if I can get clients out, we can get on the golf course, we can go to bars, we can go to strip clubs, we can go to casinos, we can do whatever. And drinking's involved. I got this because I know
Mhm.
I was an all American at boozing. Um, so I thought booze was the connection to relationships and business. And if it wasn't booze, then what else is it?
Mm. Yeah, that's true. I feel like I thought that too. I never had like a corporate kind of type job. I was always a school teacher. So, but I know wholeheartedly that every social interaction I had, it primarily revolved always with some kind of alcohol intake, and that would, and I didn't know how to socialize. That was one of the hardest parts about getting sober for me was like, how do I even socialize in a world obsessed with drinking, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so many people use it as, "Oh, I'll go sing karaoke if I drink," or, "I feel more confident." My confidence goes up when I have a couple glasses of wine. I can go do XYZ, but other than that, I'm just gonna go sit in the corner because I really don't wanna talk to anybody unless I drink. But
Yeah,
I'm sure you experience that in the teacher world when you guys go out for happy hour afterwards. All these, you know, pretty recluse, non-type A people then all of a sudden start pouring some booze in, and you're like, "Oh my gosh, what happened to Joan over here? I've never seen her
yeah.
before."
I know, you gotta cut seriously, you gotta kinda like, "Oh my gosh, gotta cut back, gotta cut back." I remember, having being very young as a teacher and going to one of those, uh, like you just mentioned, one of those after school faculty parties, and one teacher, I remember him saying to me, like, "Oh, I don't drink because I don't like how I am on it." But with the peer pressure and people, like, kinda egging him on, he actually did drink, like, only a couple of beers or whatever, but he literally, like, lost it. Like, he went from this being this really reserved person to just losing it. I was like, "Wow, alcohol can do that to, like, a person like that, like, someone so put together." It was like a precursor to, like, watching what I would eventually, the writing was on the wall. I could, like, eventually see what that would, turn up into. And that was really sad, so so again, back to your story. So when did it stop being fun for you?
Uh,
Or did you start seeing, like, problems start to arise?
Man, I think I had so many red flags. People are like, "Where's your rock bottom? Where are the red flags?" Like, I had red flags popping off all over the place. Because I wouldn't just have a party at my house, I'd have a party 5 days a week at my house. If I took a client out on a Tuesday and go to lunch, have some martinis, "Hey, let's roll into a happy hour," to roll into like, "Hey, why don't we just fire back up and get some people at the house and go sit in the hot tub on a Tuesday?" Um, Kids are at home, I got music going till midnight, 1. My daughter's texting me like, "I'm trying to study. Can you turn the music down?" Um, and I didn't think any of that was a problem. Be like, "Hey, dad's trying to make a living here, so, suck it up." So
Wow.
and again, I didn't realize I had any red flags. Even people would be like, "Man, that was wild last night. Do you know what you said to some people last night?" I'd be like, "Yeah, well, I hope it was funny."
Mhm.
Uh, and just all the collateral damage and 2 failed marriages, that are all on me, in booze that
I
I
was
did.
gonna actually ask you about that. So I know I don't wanna get pry too far into your personal life, but were both of those marriages, did they fall to the wayside because of your alcohol abuse?
1,000%.
1,000%.
Yep,
Why
1,000.
is that?
Well, booze and building my business and, you know, ego, just being rude, being vulgar, um, not respecting them. I mean, I stacked all kinds of bad,
Yeah.
but I can look in the mirror today and own it. Uh, you know, I know a lot of people have a tough time be like, "Well, she did this, that, and that." You know what? I own it. That was my problem. Booze was the what I thought was a superpower was the devil for my relationships with my ex-wives, my kids, people that I didn't even realize I was affecting. So yeah, it was nothing good came out of it for me.
Yeah.
34
That
years of a train wreck to finally realize that and step back and go, 8 years sober, man. Whew, I am a totally different person.
I know. And you had 30 years of living that lifestyle before this, those 8
Yeah.
the 8 that you have now, which is congratulations, by the way, that 8 years is just, fantastic, so
Yeah.
good
Thank you.
job. Yeah. And you're right, it's so hard to be a present and just a good spouse to someone when you're drowning in alcohol. I can speak for that firsthand. Like there were so many missed opportunities, things that I would just forget, not follow up on, just forgetting, saying embarrassing things that I wish I could, take back the next morning. So I'm with you on that one. It's really, really difficult. So after the two failed marriages, what was that the rock bottom? Was that the moment? Like when did it all come to a T?
Yeah. Approaching probably my second failed marriage in October. kind of got nudged to like, hey, if you want this to work, like you need to go to rehab. You got a problem. I was like,
Mhm.
whatever it takes. So I go to this pretty intense rehab called Chick-shadle in Seattle, and they actually induce vomiting. They make you swish booze around in your mouth. You violently throw up. It was
Wow.
horrible, but it works because to this day, if a shot or a fireball goes by me sitting at a bar, which I can sit at bars fine, but my mouth will water 8 years later.
Can you explain what that practice was that they were implementing for you to do? That sounds actually really interesting in a very different way I've never heard before.
Yeah, so they call it aversion therapy, and it's 10 days. So I didn't want to be
Love
gone.
therapy?
Aversion, it's like
Version.
touching a stove. You don't do it today because you
Oh,
really
aversion.
aversion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Um, so it's a 10-day program. So I'll explain it to you real quick just so you can get a grasp of it. So your first day, you kind of check in, um, and they call them Duffy days. And Duffy days are you go into like your doctor's office, but there's a mirror in front of you, a silver bowl, in a chair, and we called them the bartenders. The nurse is right next to you, and a full bar of every alcohol you could possibly imagine, and a fridge with beer. And they'd give you Epicac. You don't have kids, but what
I know
Epicac
what
is,
Epicat is. Yeah.
it induces vomiting. So, and you got to drink a gallon of whatever before your thing, so you're hydrated. And they give you Epicac, and it takes me about 7 minutes for it to kick in, and you just feeling woozy. You feel like you're super hungover, and then they give you a warm cup of salt water. You drink that down, and by then you're like, man, I don't feel good. And then they start pouring shots of whatever, vodka, swish it around in your mouth, spit it out in the bowl. By the second shot, man, you were throwing up. And they go, okay, here's whiskey. And they try to get you to 18 shots a day. Here's some red wine, swish it around your mouth, and you're just violently throwing up. And you're like, I can't. By 16, 17, you're barely just getting it to your mouth and you're pouring it out because you're so violently ill. And then they clean you up and they take you back to your room, and you sit in your room for 3 hours, no electronics, no nothing, at the end of the bed, with a pink bucket. And there was a clock. I visualized it today. It's like yesterday. And be like, you're just throwing up and throwing up in like an hour and a half. And the nurses come in every 10 minutes. They check they make sure you're good and your blood pressure and their vitals, their whole smash. They're amazing nurses. And you're an hour and a half into the thing. You're like, man, I'm finally just starting to feel a tad better. Then they come in, bring you some Epicac, another warm glass of salt water, and you violently throw up again for another hour and a half. And then you go to group sessions and talk about, uh, ours was evolved around the 4 agreements, speak impeccable,
Yes.
right? So we would go into group sessions and talk about that, and talk about, you know, where our drinking started. And then the next day, you get a day break from going to the bartenders, and they would sedate you. So you'd have your therapist with the computer, a nurse, anesthesiologist, and then they would knock you out to get into your subconscious. It felt like an hour, but man, you came out of that, you felt like you were on top of the world, man. It's an energy dump. But they'd get into your subconscious and they'd ask you like 20 to 26 questions, like, where do you think booze got introduced into your life? And random just questions. And then after that, for 2 hours, you go sit with your one-on-one therapist and review your questions. You'd be like, I said, what? Really? I don't even remember that guy's name. So it was a trip. And then the next day, you go look at the calendar and be like, oh man, I got a Duffy at 1 o'clock, which is horrible. So you do that for 10 days, 5 puke days and 5 sedation days. And it was massively intense. And it just neurologically reprograms your brain to
Yeah,
this
it,
day.
like, rewires your brain, right? It's almost like the old school, like, 1950s way of handling, like, when you would see that in, like, Leave It to Beaver and stuff, like, you get caught smoking cigarettes, now smoke the whole pack, but this is like, it's like, smoke the whole pack, but don't get the effects of it, right? And then get so disgusted by the taste and the smell, and not being able to digest it with the Epicat. What a fascinating study that they did, or a strategy.
Yeah.
What was the revelation that you took from it
Well, to this day, it's so crazy. I don't have silver bowls in my house
because of this?
because I was throwing up in silver bowls. My last day of doing my Duffy day, I threw up before I went into the room, knowing exactly what was coming.
Yeah.
I mean, it was crazy. And they had blue Powerade that you would drink before. They make you drink it a gallon of something. I don't have anything blue in my house to this day because my mouth.
It did that much of a
To this
traumatic
day,
shock
to
to
this
you.
day, my kids will chuckle, be like, "Dad, don't," if we're getting gas and getting something, uh,
No way.
water, like my mouth will water walking by a blue Gatorade. That's crazy.
Just yeah, that
8
is.
years later.
Did you know that strategy that they were going to implement that before going into this program? Or was that something you sought out?
I did. One of my clients actually went in a year prior to me. So I knew exactly what it was like and how effective it was and how quick it was and how scary it was.
Yeah,
And I lost 13 pounds, uh,
just by being
just in
there
those
for
10 days.
10 days.
Yeah, because you really don't want to eat. Like, it's like the worst hangover you could possibly imagine. I know lots of people have been there. You could be like, barely get a Ritz cracker and put it in your mouth and be like, oh man, that was good. You just anything to make yourself feel better and pray to God that you'll never drink again. And yeah, I've got lots of.
Was that the final piece to your
That was the
puzzle of
final. Yeah, I had a kind of a little bit of a pivotal moment. I got out on Halloween, the 31st, and was going to go trick or treat with our youngest daughter, and I got served papers when I got out. So that was a pretty big pivotal moment of like, man, was this all for nothing? But
it's a past?
again, back on that, something happened to me on the third day, which you mentioned in the intro. The third day of rehab, man. I don't. The good Lord touched me on the shoulder. Something hit me in the fucking face that was like, "Hey, unless you're right, nothing will be right." Because I wanted to rehab to go save my marriage, save my business, be a better dad, all these things for except for me. And something just like shook me and said, "Hey, you need to get your shit together. Unless you're right, nothing will ever be right." So that like really hit me the third day of rehab. So man, I just embraced rehab of like, man, if I'm not right, nothing will be right. Like I lived and breathed that. That was affirmations. And I came out on fire. Got served papers, was could have been a pivotal point of like, man, I could just go back and drink. This is all for nothing. But it was like, I I get it.
Yeah.
I created this damage. I own it. I will get through this. Yeah, if I'm clean and sober, I'm going to get through this a lot better. So I just kind of stayed on that track, even though it was like another kick in the shin.
Well, that's
But
that's life right there, really testing you at the breakthrough, right? That
right,
profound moment of clarity. Like I need to be right. Like my foundation, I always say, like the foundation of my sobriety is everything to me because without the foundation, the walls crumble and then everything else falls to the wayside, and that's when big problems will arise in my life. But you caught that, and you were very mindful and courageous in the sense that you've embraced it, and you're like, if I'm not right, then I can't be the good dad. I can't be the loving partner to whoever. It's like, yeah, that's just what it breaks down to. It's like we don't take care of ourselves first. It's always going to get messy
right,
and fall
a
apart.
1000%.
So you did that, and then what? Explain to me what your life was like after that very testing moment where you got served papers, and then you're like, okay, gonna still go trick or treating, and really kind of
Yeah,
like, what do you
yeah. It
do?
was I realized how important community is. Right. I've never done AA, but man, I have the utmost respect for that community and how important my core people were around me. Uh, Again, it's like, show me your 5 friends, I'll show you your future. I had the best core people and community around me to help support me, love me, keep me on track,
That's
laugh with, cry with, can be completely honest with, has been that got me through those really tough times before I could create these habits that I have now and my ups and downs of, and again, I'm will ask you too is like we deal with all these emotions that we were just drinking and numbing
Mhm.
for so long and people would be like, hey, are you okay? Yeah, I'm great. Well, inside I was dying, I was bankrupt, I was sad, I was lonely, I was all these things. And when you get sober, man, you got to sit in your dirty diaper and feel those feelings.
Yes, you do.
And
100%.
that was really, really tough to do, but I had the core people around me in my community were so rock solid that got me through that, and I'm so grateful for all of them. Uh,
Yeah. You're very blessed in that sense. There's a lot of people out there who are struggling who do not have that tight knit group of people backing them up, right, supporting them in a really real, genuine way. And that's tricky. But that's why programs like AA and Learn to Cope, whatever the online meetings that
Yeah, and
people
like what
do.
you're doing, and people listen to
Yeah,
your podcast because they can relate to it and it's comfortable and they, they can have those feelings listening to it and deal with those different stories and emotions and the impact that you're making with the community you have is phenomenal as well.
thank you, thank you. So yeah, that's like, and that's the thing with not like not being able to be authentically you and say what is actually on your mind. Like I feel like we lose so much of that in knowing that those first couple months of sobriety is really hard work because you're sitting with a dirty diaper. You're grieving the friend that you just had for 30 years that's no longer your friend anymore. It's like a toxic ex-girlfriend who's is on the other line, right?
Exactly.
You don't want to get, you don't want to be late night like, hey, you up? Like you don't ever want to send that text out to that toxic ex-girlfriend, but they're always there. So now that we learned a little bit about some positive things, I kind of want to walk back a little bit. So walk me through a night in the fog. So you're just during your drinking years. So what's one of those 30 years where the party's roaring, but inside you're screaming for quiet? What did it steal? Like what did what did you take away from that? Or what do you remember?
There's so many of those. I had so many parties at my house. Um, the text that I get from my daughter of like, "Hey, it's loud." Kid, my oldest son, they're 2 years apart. So got a 30-year-old, 28-year-old, 15-year-old. And when the oldest was in high school, I would have all the high school kids over on a went because I was like the good dad.
Hmm.
If you're gonna party, you're at my house. If we're gonna do after baseball practice, come to the house, we'll barbecue, we'll have some beers and have a ball. And I'd have, you know, 16 to 26 people at my house, and the music's going, the the hot tub's going outside, we're playing cornhole, and I'm walking around with some fireball, be like, "Hey, Jones, have a fireball shot," and I just get these kids all liquored up. Meanwhile, my daughter's texting, be like, "Can you turn the music down, please, Dad? Again, it's getting loud." Um, and all these red flags. Neighbors would be coming over, bringing some steaks, and God knows what's on. Any excuse. Oh, there's girls cheerleading on, so come on over. We're gonna barbecue. Any excuse to get people over.
Yeah.
And sitting there in a fog on a 5-day run, entertaining clients, the whole smash, and be like, you just like, when's the noise gonna stop? And it'd be a mess. And then I'd have a day of quietness or hungover and be like, oh my God, I'm never gonna drink again. Please God, if you make me feel better, I won't drink. And I had so many false promises to myself and the good Lord that when I did have that quiet moment, these weird things would happen. These feelings would be like, whew, shit, I don't like those. Let's have a party and let's get this thing numb so I don't have to deal with any of this stuff going inside or people know that I'm sad and I'm lonely and I want to cry. And these I'm not a good dad and I'm a horrible business owner and I'm not a good friend. And like all these doubts would come in. So then I would just go back and numb it with booze.
Yeah.
So I didn't
Yeah.
like that feeling of being alone. So the more I had people around, the number I could be.
I think that's a very common strategy for a lot of drinkers is especially the loneliness component of it, right? Like we do feel alone no matter what. You could be surrounded by a million people and hammered, but deep down you feel alone. Like I would have these moments of profound clarity of catching myself in a mirror if I was like at a social function or a concert, whatever it is, and go to the bathroom. And you just like, oh my God, like look at me. I look like a fat, hot mess. I'm sweating. Like I'm belligerent. I can't even like close my eyes correctly. Like what is going on with me, right? Oh my gosh. So you're a fascinating person. Like when so you did all this, you built it. It sounded like you built it all, like your identity back in that learning that aversion therapy is just so fascinating to me. So now like what was like the last 10 years of your life like? Like what happened that you were surprised by?
Um, Everybody has that fear of like, man, can I go have fun?
Mm,
What's life going to be like? Because I was the life of the party and it was all circled around booze. I am the same dude, same life of the party. I can go sit at bars. Um, I can go to concerts and have way more fun. I can go to football games and sporting events with clients and have so much fun. And the biggest thing that people ask is like, hey, how do you, anything you miss?
yeah.
No, you know what I don't miss are those hangovers.
Yes. I
I mean,
think I'll miss those.
so many. like my days are so fresh and start so well, and like I've lost so much time. It's crazy how much time you have back when you're not drinking or sitting in a happy hour for from noon to 10 p.m. 10
Mhm.
of
Yes.
time I have back.
Yeah.
And I did a podcast a couple weeks ago and did the math. Over $1 million in booze. $1 million.
No, no way.
Yeah, I would take down. I didn't know Jim and Jack and Jill over here at the bar. I'd be like, "Hey, let's get these guys some shots and fired up." And I'd have all these false friends, right? Because I was buying shots and had the means to. Um, at my son's college, it'd be like $2,300 bar tab, no problem. Every shots for everybody. Um, you know, seven, 800, $1,200 dinners with clients and the best, Camus wine and whatever else rolling. Yeah, it was insane the amount of money that I spent on booze in time. But time was the biggest kick in the face for me, like how much time I've gained uh,
Yeah.
drinking and boozing. And I still do all those same things. I can still go entertain clients, still go have a ball, um, go to games. I have more fun because my clarity's there and I actually enjoy it because I'll use this story. Sits well with me is like we had an RV that was really a portable bar for when my kids were phenomenal athletes. Um, so we'd go to a baseball game and bring the RV, and it'd be a triple header. And in the morning, I'm making Bailey's and coffee and making sure everybody's good in the stands. And at breaks, we'd go have hot dogs and do shots. And then in the afternoon, we'd go to Coors Light or vodka sodas and making sure everybody's good in the stands. But behind me, my kids are playing sports. And
Wow.
I thought I was a present father, where I was so worried about taking care of everybody else that I was there. So I was a present father in my mind. I have a whole new meaning of what that means today.
Did you add that? That would be a really compelling part of your book. Did you add that part?
I did not. I did
Hmm.
not add that part to my book.
We'll just
Maybe
add
my
this on the second book. Because I really do find that fascinating, like, especially those hindsight moments of clarity, like, I was there, I was physically there, I was making sure everyone was having an excellent time, like, if you would have seen me during that time, you would be like, "Look at that guy, he's the man." But your kids were there, and they were doing the thing that you were intending to be there for, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's hard.
Yeah, and
It must be hard.
same as at home. Be like, I'd have some clients over, or some neighbors, and be like, order pizza for the kids and go put a movie on upstairs. Is
Yeah.
that really being present? I mean, like, but I thought I was like, man, I'm the cool dad. I just got pizza and they ordered a movie and like, look at me.
Yeah. So I'm curious about that part though, when I asked earlier about like your drinking life, it was such a big part of you. And then you have to to entertain clients still, and you have to do all those things. So like, did you find that first, say, function that you went to when you're typically the party man walking around with like a beer on, like under, how everyone does that. Like, so it's like not socially weird to stand around in like circles and stuff. So what was your strategy? Like, help the people out there listening that.
So I am a big soda water drinker.
Okay.
So soda water in an environment looks like it's vodka soda.
Right. That's always the go-to kind of option that they throw out there because I think it works. It's bubbly, right? It
Yeah.
looks like,
Yeah.
you put a
Nobody
little
questions
lime in it.
it. People people be like, well, what's wrong with you? You're not drinking. And be like, what's wrong with you? What are you hiding? Why are you drinking?
Yeah.
Right? It's like, so you get that at first. And it's you got to look in the mirror and go, it's on me. It's on me to set the tone for this. It's on me to be strong. And it's okay to answer these questions and not be offended by them. Why aren't you drinking? Because of what I can't handle. And if you can be honest with yourself, again, I don't think so many people are, I'm just taking a break or
Yes.
whatever, right? It's like, I have a problem with it, so I just don't do it.
Yeah.
It kind of stops people in their tracks and be like, oh shit, okay, well,
Yeah.
problems did you have? Right? People get real sober curious real quick when you're truthful.
Just I feel like they just get curious quick when anyone's truthful, and it doesn't even matter if it's sobriety related or not. If you say what's on your mind and like a very truthful, you just speak the truth, people are gonna be like taken aback by it, because they're everyone's so used to or inundated with just hearing noise, I got look at me, I'm the best, I'm the best. But when you're honest, truthful, vulnerable, that's when the curiosity starts. That's when the caring, comes into a play.
Right. It's like, hey, Will, how you doing? I'm good.
I'm good. Yeah, you don't want to
Right?
start that.
It's the programming. I'm really sad and I'm lonely right now. Or you know what? I'm on top of the world because I'm working on this project. People don't answer that. Start answering that truthfully and like be different and be unique. Like um,
Yeah.
instead of those, yeah, I'm good. I'm
I
great.
have a little trick if everyone wants to use this one and they feel awkward, like introducing themselves to into conversations with people you don't know. I just say like, "Hi, I'm Will. Like, anything interesting that you're working on?" Or that's like how I start the conversation. It's like,
Yeah.
"Hey, wait, what are you curious about? Like, what are you interested in? Like, what are you
Mhm.
working on?" Even if
Yeah.
I just met them, because people are like they start thinking in their head, "Well, oh, I'm excited about to talk about this. Let me talk about like what the things that I'm passionate about."
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I always ask people, hey, what goals are you working on right now? And
Yeah,
I,
we're cozy. That's
it,
a good one too.
it throws them for a loop. And it's like, oh, well, I got this. Or they really start to have to think about it. And then you're like, well, maybe you need help with getting some goals.
Yeah. Yeah, you kinda put a mirror in front of them and say like, "Well,
Yeah.
what's going on, man? Like, come on, like, let's get your life in motion here." Um, so this book, like, let's talk about the book. So, what's the book's title is again? What was it? I'm sorry.
Wild ride
Yes.
is sobriety.
Wild Ride of Sobriety. So is this the story of your life?
It is the story of my life from, starting from the age of 1 to bartending at 13 to, um, 2 failed marriages, you know, not being present for my kids, looking in the mirror and owning your own shit,
Mhm.
um, to losing 80 pounds, my journey, some nuggets in there of some really good books that I
So
utilize.
I wanna get to obviously the relationship that you have with your children now, but I'm also really curious about the that losing of that amount of weight is substantial. So for people who are interested in that part of the story, what did you do? Did you just change what you were eating?
Eating was a huge thing because especially when you're boozing, man, I was
Mhm.
doing 6, 7,000 calories in booze, and then at midnight, let's order a pizza or
True.
Taco
Yeah.
Bell and nachos and the most non-healthy food for you forever. So my caloric intake dropped drastically. Um, and then my supplement was sugar. I became a dessert guy. Um,
That's me right now. I struggle with sweets because it's very, from the neurotransmitter of dopamine, it's a very similar release of what alcohol does. And you hear that all the time with people, and they say the
yep.
same thing. How sugar is this, it almost takes the place of it.
So it's portion, fasting. I do a lot of these. Sometimes I'll do one meal a day. Fast till 2, or noon. Um, so fasting's been a big thing.
Mhm.
Uh, I hate eating late now. So eating late, I try not to eat after 6.
Yeah.
And if you do eat late, go for a walk afterwards.
Yep.
Um, so just stacking all these little baby habits, um, make an impact. And it's just starting with one. Like if anybody's struggling, start with the smallest thing and stack it. And
Yeah.
then add another. So mine over 8 years, I just stacked all these habits. I didn't do them all be like, "If you do this, you'll be XYZ."
Yeah.
Man, the big thing with people in weight, it's like January's coming up. What's gonna happen? All these gyms are gonna get full again. Everybody's gonna do all this, and I'm gonna go lose 30, 40 pounds, right? Because that's what I wanna do. The problem with that is people go to the gym for the week. They really don't see results, or they'd be
Mhm.
like, whatever. I only lost 2 pounds. Fuck it. I'm going to go have a cheeseburger and a pitcher of beer. The problem, reset your goals to I'm going to lose 1 pound this week or
Yeah.
1 pound, two
Manageable.
pounds, and make them really small. Because if you stack baby wins instead of a failure, you're more likely to do it. So I'm going to lose, 2 pounds in 2 weeks and you win. And it's a mental win and it's a physical win and it's an emotional win. You'll keep going and go like,
Yeah.
man, I got this. I'm going to lose another 2 in the next 2. And before you know it, man, you got yourself in a routine because you're going to the gym and you're getting up early and you got your clothes laid out. And it's just a disciplined habit that you created. Then add something new of like, okay, well, I'm not gonna have a huge breakfast. I'm gonna fast a couple days a week and I'll just do lunch. So I just stacked all those baby things over time, and it seems like a lot. So somebody didn't give me a playbook and go, "Hey, if you did all this, you'll be fabulous." Which it's all out there. It's been out there for years and decades,
Yeah.
uh, but it's overwhelming to people because they
Yeah.
want, we're such in a instant, like AI, like everything's so fast now.
Yes.
The
Instant
quickest.
results.
I'm
Mhm.
gonna go. take some Ozempic and I'm going to lose 40 pounds. And like, okay, well, that's fabulous. But what are you going to do? Because
Yeah.
that's a lifestyle change.
Yeah. So for the listener at 2 a.m. whose voice is saying one more won't hurt, your soft reply, one sentence to hold the line.
It's on me.
It's on me.
It's on me.
I like that. Accountability.
You got to look in the mirror every day, no matter what's going on in your world, no matter what's going on in your business, no matter what you're feeling is it's on you to set the tone. It's on me to set the tone for the day. It's on me to be the chain breaker of my family and alcoholism. It's on me to go be a better person. It's on me to go make an impact on people. And we have such this victim society that I hear it all the time. Oh, this, that person, these person would be like, you just want to shake them and go, hey, own your own shit
Mm,
and shake them and go, it's on you. You let that person affect you. You don't need to let that person affect you. Don't let other people affect your emotions.
yes.
Don't let other people affect your clarity. It's on you. It's on you to see when you got this little chatterbox over here, you need to go, hey, shut up, fella. It's on me. I'm gonna make it great. I'm not gonna absorb all this negativity. Or change your environment. That's the biggest thing that I noticed. I got a couple of my sons, uh, they're so sober curious. They want to quit drinking. And one of them, I'm like, dude, your circle's your problem. Well, what do you mean? Well, if you get off work, you go drink, you smoke weed, you do the same thing 5 days a week. Saturday, you go to the golf course, you drink, you smoke weed, and you go play video games with these guys, rinse and repeat. You
Hmm.
feel like shit on Sunday, you watch football, you have a Bloody Mary, and you think you're better with the same dudes. Your environment is your problem. It's going to be so uncomfortable to get out of your environment. Until you can change your environment, you ain't changing.
Yes. I mention that all the time. I say you have to, because we're the average of the 5 people that we associate with most. So if you have like some unambitious or unorganized friends, you have to be mindful of that because they're probably bringing you down. They're not elevating you to the potential that you want to be.
You are a product of your environment.
You are a product of your environment, 100%. This has been a fascinating conversation, Ian. I've just loved everything that we've gone through here. Is there anything else that you wanted to say before we wrap up?
Man, if you're sober curious, check your environment and then look in the mirror every day and go, it's on me. If you really want to, and say those positive affirmations to yourself of like, I got this. I can do it. I am quitting. I am doing this for me. Um, speak it into your world, right? We take for granted of all this noise that we got, and what you say you will believe, what you think about you move towards, and remind yourself of that, right? Like, I am, look in the mirror, in your eyes, in the mirror, and go, I am loved, I am worthy, I am great, I can do this, it's on me, right? And start your day with that.
Hmm. Yeah, that's great. That's great advice. And it will feel weird at first doing those kind of things, but the more you do it, the more you implement it and practice it and like do like mirror work. I like to do that. Just saying, hey man, I love you. Like I love you today. I love you. Like, and especially when you're not feeling well, like that's when it really, really
Hmm.
hits, you know? Then you start, like, I'll do the I love you thing in front of the mirror. I'll say it like 10 times. In the first 4, I'm like cringing because it's kind of awkward. But then like number 4, I'm laughing. 5, I'm like hysterically laughing. And then 6, it gets serious again.
And
It's
the
like,
energy you get,
yeah.
you're changing your physiology of your body,
Hmm.
and
Yeah,
you
you're
don't
resonating at like a different
like
high
your
frequency.
energy level from the beginning to the end of that is drastically different.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's very fun. It's a fun thing. And I do it when I brush my hand with my left hand to mix it
Yep.
up, to even throw the brain off even more, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, the more you can
Yeah, I
do,
love
like,
it.
implement those little things into your life, the better off you'll be.
Oh my gosh, we have so much in common.
We really do, Ian. Well, this has been just a fabulous conversation, something that I was really looking forward to, and I'm glad that it came through the way that I was hoping it would. So, Ian, if people want to reach out to you, get some coaching, get your book, all that, what's the best place to reach you?
You can go for the book. You can go to Amazon, and just put in my name or Wild Bride to Sobriety. You can follow me by my name, Ian Fee on Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, Facebook.
Yeah,
Um,
and that's at Ian IAN period fee FEE.
yep, yep. And then you can go to my website, and my cell number's on there if you ever need, if I can help you in any way or help push you on your journey, that's what this is all about, and that's why you do it too, Will, is to go make an impact on people. So
100%. Yep. That's why I'm doing it. That's why we're doing it. We're just trying to help because we were once in your shoes and we know the complete, utter chaos of just how difficult and exhausting being addicted to alcohol can be and how it can just ruin your life from doesn't matter, what age you are, it will get you eventually. So you need to be very mindful of what you're putting in your body. Okay, guys. Thank you so much for watching this episode. Thank you so much for liking and sharing, sending these kind of episodes to people, loved ones, friends that you think it would help. So please like it, subscribe if you can, guys, and share it to people that you think it might help. Because that's what I want. That's the message here. I want to help as many people as I possibly can. So thank you guys for watching this episode of the Willpower Podcast with Will Gordon, and be on the lookout for many, many more episodes coming soon, guys. Have a great weekend and take care.